So you remember we talked about doing everything in stages and normally do them by the 100. So I'm actually in the middle of doing these. So as you can tell, all of these have been cleaned. Everything has been done to them per 100. So right now the last stage for these 100 are loading them up, charging the case and putting the bullet in. So I typically do this when I charge them 10 at a time. And the reason I do that is this is a very detailed step. We want to make sure this is 100% perfect, and it is tedious, and so I will normally do 10 and then I will go take a break. If I'm feeling good, I'll go ahead and do 20, but I still just do 10 at a time. I'll do 10 and 10 back to back. Now the way that I do this is we have our funnel, we have our cases that are all prepped and everything. I'll run all 10 to one side. I have our powder trickler, our powder thrower, and our scale. Every time you do this, you want to make sure everything's perfect. So the scale has already been zeroed. It's been triple checked. You always want to double or triple check. I like to triple check. I want everything perfect. So consistency is key to accuracy. So everything will need to be double and triple checked. So what I'll do is I'll move this one over here. I'll go ahead and charge it up, measure everything, trickle it. When I dump the powder in, then I will move it back here. And then I will start from the back, even though I grabbed that one in the front. I will start from the back, charge it, and I'll move from one side to the other. Now typically, a charge of powder, especially with these, will fill the case almost all the way up, so you can't double charge it. With pistol, it's a little bit different. You can easily double charge a case, and then that can be very dangerous. Most of your rifle cases, you will not be able to double charge. And what I mean by double charge is put powder in it, and then set it over here somewhere, and then get them mixed up somehow and put two charges of powder into one case. So part of the reason I do it this way is to stop that from happening, even though it can't really happen with this case because it gets pretty much maxed out. So let's go ahead and charge the case. So what we're going to do is, I already have everything kind of set up, so I'm going to try to do this one-handed if I can. So we're going to put this under here, and then I don't know how I'm going to do this. Oh, look at that, it's magic. Okay, so basically all I did is you run this up, it gets your charge in there, and it goes in here, you throw that up there, and then we're weighing our charge. So we always want to undercharge. So when we put our powder, we don't want it perfectly even, so what we want to do is have it even with that middle little arrow there. But what we're doing is trickling the powder in because we want it to be perfectly even at the same time, because even though this is a really good powder thrower, it will be off 0.1 or 2 grains. So the way this works is you just turn this and you will see just one kernel at a time. So we're going to keep turning this. And this is why this is tedious, because we want it to be perfect. And you have to have a little bit of patience because it does take some time. Oh, sorry. So now you can see, just have to take my word for it, it's perfect. Okay. So the next step would be to charge our case. Now I do this two-handed. I hold this with one hand and I dump the case in, or I'm sorry, the powder in with the other hand. So let me go ahead and do that real quick. Okay, so now that that's done, what I typically do is I'll just do a little flick of this thing just to make sure all the powder's down, or I'll use the measuring cup and I'll tap it just to make sure everything's down in there. So that case is done. Now we just continue moving on to the next cases. So instead of going through all 10 of these, I'm just going to call that good for now. I'll go ahead and do that off camera, and then it will be time to load the bullet.